So good stuff. Now Nginx is load balancing between these two servers. And the really cool thing is that PM2 can load balance on its own. So we're going to do that. Basically, we're going to load balance at two different points. So at the Nginx level, we're distributing the traffic between two upstream servers, one at port 8080 and one at port 8081. Now what we can do is we can actually let PM2 run multiple instances on each of those ports. So in my apps.json file, where we see instances 1, I'm going to change this to 2. And so what this will do is it will run this script twice at this port. And when a request comes in to this port, it's going to balance it between two instances of this script. And we're also going to do that here on the second app. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run git add a and git commit add more instances, and then we're going to git push origin master. And this is definitely more DevOps stuff, but I think it's important to cover. What we're going to do is run git pull origin master, and we're going to run PM2 stop all, and we're going to run PM2 start apps.json, and now we'll see 4 apps get started. Oh, it actually started 5. Oh, it started 6. Let's do this. PM2 kill. I think it restarted my older ones as well. Okay, so let's just commit this with the same message because I just fixed the name there. I probably should add the correct, commit message, but it's fine. All right. Now we're going to git pull origin master. Now we're going to run PM2 start apps.json. And we should see 4 instances, and we do. 0, 2, 1, and 3. I'm not sure why they're in that order, but in any event, we now have 4 instances of our API running on the server. And if I run top, we'll see I do have 12 gigabytes of RAM and 10 gigabytes are free. More than 10 gigabytes are free. And yeah, so basically each of these instances, we need to do some math here. Each one, so for 2 instances, each of these apps, and there's 2 instances per app, so each of the apps consumes a maximum of 4096 megabytes, 4 gigabytes of RAM. So with all 4 of these instances, the maximum amount that the APIs will ever consume or be able to consume will be 8 gigabytes. And I have 12 gigabytes. I feel pretty safe leaving that as is. Now that's basically how to run and deploy our stuff. Now in the React app, if I refresh and I log in, well, actually what I'll have to do is create a user first as an admin. Or actually, does it already create a user? Let's go ahead and look in server.js. No. So it creates the role. Okay, so we would have to actually manually add our user object. Or actually, what I'll do go to demoapi.nickgermain.com/explorer. We'll go to user. And we'll post email. It's going to be nickgermain@gmail.com. Password is going to be password. Role is going to be, well, actually we need to put quotes around that because it's JSON. Role is going to be admin. And name is going to be Nick. Try it out. There we go. Okay. So let's do this. Let's add some code in our server block here. When we boot, app.models.find1 where role is admin. If it doesn't find any, so if not error and users dot length, actually this shouldn't be find one, it should just be find because we're actually going to test the length of this, equals 0. This means we don't have any roles. No, we'd be looking for role mapping. Role mapping. And what we would look for there is if there's no role mapping. So I'm going to change that to RM. So if no that, and if RM length equals 0, this means basically that no roles have been mapped to any user. So we're going to get the first user, that is an admin. So app.models.users. Is it users or user? One sec. Model config. I can't find it here. Post. Okay, user. All right. app.models.user.find where role is admin. Actually, we can just erase all of this right here. We don't need that. We're just going to look for any role mappings. Basically, we can tell that if there's no role mappings, that this is a first deployment. User error or users, find one. Just the first one. Where role is admin. And then if there's no user error, and if there's a user, what we'll do is just copy that above code to actually map principles right here. Oh no, we need to find the role first. Okay. So down here, app.models.role.find where name is admin, role error or result. If no role error and result, there we go. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's save this and let's not test it. And let's just push and see what happens. Git add a, git commit, adding untested default admin code, git push origin master. Then let's switch back over here. Let's run pm2 kill just to kill the entire process. Let's run git pull origin master. And then I'm just going to run npm start to see if it successfully maps this rollout. Yeah, it's not going to. Users is not defined. All right. We had one issue in there, I think. One issue. Let's save this. And before we commit it, let's npm start. And it fails again. This was a failure due to sharp. So I'm really just going to recompile that. If I can. And then basically all we have to do is push this to our server and run it with PM2, and then we're good to go. Then we've just covered a deployment of a React app and an API, which that's key. You know, building the code is one thing, but then when it actually comes time to deploy it in the correct way, this information is invaluable. I'm not sure how long this will take, so I'm gonna pause this here. Okay, so after like 10 minutes it failed at rebuilding, so I'm just going to commit it. Fix role auto user admin. Sure. Git push origin master. I think I've read the code correctly. It looks right, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We're going to git pull origin master, and then we're going to run npm start. Not read property creative undefined server 95 salt. Principles. Create. What are we looking at here? Find one. This is a perfect example of a lot of little things that, that will screw with success. I think the reason why the rebuild was failing is because I'm using a different version of Node in the terminal that I'm trying to run that instance of the API in. So I could just nvm use 10, I think I was using locally. There we go. Okay, so now we've got an admin user, so I'm going to pm2 start apps.json. And we've got our APIs running. So now when I log in to demo.nickgermain.com/admin, going to use this. And the password I created was just password, and I'm going to log in, and I'm going to save. And if we look at these, we can see it's calling the correct URL. It's actually communicating with the API on the server, so now I can add posts and all that good stuff, and it's all going to be added to our Mongo instance on the server. So that's it for the React app and Loopback API. You guys now can develop full stack basic applications, just meaning we haven't covered sockets yet, and those are super fun. They can add real-time communication between different clients using the app. So for chat features, basically. And we are going to jump into sockets. It's a lot smaller than the React and the API was. So there's a little bit left, but you guys can now create APIs and use React for front ends. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.